This election's really getting to me. I feel like in the last 4 years, the left has built so much momentum. You know, just because obviously Trump is like a mask off fascist, but my biggest fear right now is that Joe Biden will win and then liberals will just go to sleep. You know, we'll lose the momentum. We'll go back to brunch, and then in 4 to 8 years, you know, we'll have another candidate with all of Trump's views that's more intelligent, more cunning, and will destroy us, you know? And I feel like that situation is up there with like one of the more likely ones. I'm not going to take any of this for granted. It's all toss up, really. See, that's my hope, right? Like the momentum built up from the left. I was like part of that. When Obama was president, I was, you know, also very far left, but you know, I didn't pay so much attention to the news every day or like the intricacies of like how the government and how capitalism was oppressing us in like extreme detail. It was only once Trump was elected that like the next day I was like, what can I do to fight back? And I know for like me personally, it doesn't matter who's in the White House, who wins. You know, if the Senate goes Democrat and Democrat wins the White House, I'm still going to be in the streets. I'm still going to be fighting evictions. I'm going to be fighting against the carceral state. I'm going to be fighting against white supremacy, against capitalism, against patriarchy, against all like oppressive hierarchies in this country. But I can't say the same for like, I don't know, the sort of like paper members, the people who don't have the same sort of drive that I do, you know? It keeps me up at night, honestly. Wow, Florida's at 87% and hasn't been called. My God, that's close. It's all so close. I mean, 1%, that doesn't mean anything. New Hampshire, 7% reporting. Michigan, 1%. This is quite the early lead for Biden in Texas. 16% lead with 23% reported. If Trump loses Texas, game over. He has absolutely no path. I know the Texas state legislators within like 9 seats of flipping. If this is like as high turnout as people are saying, it could flip pretty easily. I like how they put the total number of votes underneath to show you how absurd this whole system is. Like, why should a state the size of Florida have a winner-take-all for its electoral college? Like, why does the electoral college exist if not to oppress? And if you are going to have it, why would it be winner-take-all by state? The whole thing's bonkers, but, you know. Yeah, I don't think Biden has a way to win this state. It looks like in, you know, the cities of Florida are mostly counted. We're in like the 90% counted. It's just not the kind of margins I don't think he was hoping for. Whereas there's some counties out in the Everglades that are down in the, you know, 80s, 60s, 50s. I don't know if there's enough votes like left over for Biden to catch up. I think Florida's gonna go to Trump. Actually, less than 1%. Okay, they just started counting votes in Atlanta, and then these are completely uncounted out here. So the needle is meaningless. Ignore the needle. I'll probably stay up for the Proposition 22 in California, because why not? Pennsylvania is one of those states that we're not going to have all the results in. So I wouldn't count on this lead. Pretty much I'm hoping Georgia flips so I can go to bed earlier. Yeah, this is actually looking pretty good for Biden, if we're honest. There's still like a fifth of the votes out in the cities of North Carolina, and then you've got some of the outer counties that are uncounted. But some of these are even at high 80s, 90s. I don't know how many Republican votes are left out in the middle of nowhere that can make up this difference when there's still more votes to be counted in Charlotte, Greensboro, and Raleigh. Even Fayetteville. Fayetteville's a big military installation, so I'm actually surprised it's so going so hard for Biden, but whatever. We'll take it. Oh, of course, it's East Bridgewater. It's the goddamn South Shore. And no, we can't all be friends. I mean, I'm not a Democrat. And I can't stand, liberals in general, or, the whole, idea of the liberal mindset. But Republicans are, another level of rapacious. They are, disgusting capitalists who use white supremacy to enforce their own wealth. They're patriarchal. They're everything wrong with this country and everything wrong with society. So, no, we can't be friends. I'm communist. Louisiana, Dakota. The Dakotas, New Mexico, New York, and Wyoming are just called. Nebraska called also. See, I don't agree with that. I think Bernie has a path to the presidency also. It's just not the same one. I don't think Bernie could have won Georgia, but Bernie wouldn't have had a problem here. Right? Bernie would have made West Virginia in contention and Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, no problem, right? So it's just a different path to the White House. Bernie appeals to the whole the union people. And unions are strong in the Appalachian area of the country. Biden doesn't appeal to them because Biden blows. See, I'm all about a third option, but this is first past the post elections. So, whoever wins the most votes wins, right? If we had ranked choice voting for the whole country, that'd be great. And I don't ever think representative democracy can be truly representative of the will of the people, but a sort of multi-winner ranked choice voting would be a lot closer than whatever the fuck this is. Nothing counted, but Trump won it anyway. I love that. Question 1 is the right to repair law. So Massachusetts had previously voted on a right to repair, maybe 4 to 6 years ago, and approved it. So that all that means is that repair shops that are independent of the dealer can access your diagnostic information. All question 1 does is amend the previous law to add in additional data that's being added by the auto manufacturer. So basically the new cars that are coming out from 2022 and beyond have diagnostic data that wasn't covered under the old law, and manufacturers are being real tight about releasing that to independent repair shops. So basically this just updates the law. Yeah, that's the important thing to keep in mind here. This whole thing is just entertainment. And when we wake up tomorrow, there's still a fascist capitalist state that we live under. Like, we're not eliminating colonialism because we voted in Joe fucking Biden. So this is mostly a joke. I just do this for shits and giggles. See, when I see it this close, I want the cities to be like uncounted. Like, what the votes that are left here? Honestly, not much. There's maybe a fifth of the votes left in Houston, and then maybe 10% left in the other two. Whereas there's entire counties out here that are uncounted. And this is like the scary part of the country. I mean, Florida has always been like a perennial swing state in some way. But there's so many goddamn Cubans there. There's like no way. The only person who would do worse in Florida might be Bernie. Yeah, the bad Cubans. Yeah, Miami Cubans are still mad that Castro took their slaves away. I don't really value their opinions at all. So historically, when Fidel Castro took power, landowners and slaveholders were pretty much exiled to the United States, and that's where you get a lot of these Miami Cubans, who are more wealthy and more white than their island counterparts, and, you know, support very right-wing causes because they're still salty about Castro. Not sure why they're not calling this one yet. Yeah, like this whole thing is a joke. It's like, it's all entertainment. Like something like 20 counties determines the president. Like, we already know, like, all these right here are gonna be Trump. Like this. Polls haven't even closed yet, and I could pretty much color this map in. Oof, this lead has closed. Predictably. He's almost half the lead in North Carolina. Ossoff is pretty far behind here. Looks like the no is gonna win question 2. We're at just under 10% reporting, and they've got quite a lead. I remember when everyone was like really big into Ossoff, and we're all like donating to his campaign and like text banking and shit. And I was like, dude, he's not even like a good candidate. He's barely a Democrat. I mean, like, my big prediction is that Trump's gonna win this anyway. I hope not, for obvious reasons, but I'm a pessimist. Regarding Senate split, so far no Republican seats have been overturned to Democrat ones. So I think that's still whatever it was, like 6 seats. Oh yeah, I think Trump's gonna win the whole thing. Why not? We live in hell world. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not getting my hopes up for Biden. I mean, losing Florida isn't like the worst thing in the world, but if he loses Georgia also, and then like Pennsylvania, you're not going to get results till like Friday. Like, once you start getting to like, depending on Michigan and Pennsylvania, we're not going to have all our votes tonight, and Trump's going to declare victory at approximately 2 a.m. And then we'll have like a Supreme Court fight, which he controls, and then Trump will be the president. I mean, I voted Gloria, but me and like 3 other people. Yeah, the no on question 2 is disappointing. I put a lot of time into question 2. I did volunteering for Voter Choice Massachusetts. I was tabling and, gathering contact signatures and or contact information and signatures for the ballot campaign for like months. I mean, my big criticism of question 2 is like their messaging was really fucking stupid. The whole like idea of like stop choosing between, you know, two evils or something. I don't think that was like the best messaging. But it was like me tabling and canvassing for question 2 that got me into the RNC like 2 years ago. So I can thank question 2 for that. God damn it, I just need them to call Florida. Oh, bro, this one got real close. 81% reporting, and Cal Cunningham is only leading by like 60,000 votes. This would be like a big win if he actually takes this. I don't even know who Cal Cunningham is. Who is this guy? Ah, fuck, he's a lawyer and a retired military officer. Yeah, I'm expecting Pennsylvania like Friday or some shit. If it comes down to Pennsylvania, Trump wins because he's just going to declare victory. If Trump wins, you know, it's the status quo. Like, things are going to stay the way they are. I mean, my fear is always like burnout because we've had 4 years of like absolute fuck shit. Like, I don't know how much fuck shit people can tolerate. Ossoff actually might be as bad off as he looks. Just because now that I'm looking, a lot of these deep red ones are like counted. Whereas like the main population of Atlanta is only at 25%. So in theory, like Ossoff will win this stretch, which has like an enormous population by a good margin. And then I don't know, with all these already counted, I don't know if there's enough votes left out in the country. Yeah, even Savannah is only at 38% counted. Ossoff might be better off than it looks. All right, Hickenlooper wins Colorado, so that is your first flipped seat, I think. Trump takes the lead in Texas, and I don't know that he will ever be behind again. Almost all the votes in Austin have been counted. We got 12% left in San Antonio and 18% left in Houston. But all these like really shit counties out here haven't counted anything. Oh, first good news of the night. Ian Omar wins re-election, to no one's surprise. UBI is better than no UBI, especially in a pandemic, but UBI as a concept is just a band-aid to capitalism. It doesn't give us the value of our labor. Other than UBI, I don't really know what Yang supported. Wasn't paying attention. I've seen like Yang bumper stickers and stuff. And I've seen dudes on the train with the hats that say math, which is like the Yang campaign hat. I'm always drawn to those because, you know, I love math. New York Times with this news here that the White House is eating like McDonald's and watching Fox News. You know, that's like some sort of like liberal shaming or something. Like, obviously he's going to watch Fox News if he wants, like, you know, people that like him to be like reporting on the election. Like, if it were me, I'd watch CNN just to see like the meltdown. But, you know, how's New Hampshire doing? Like, I expect like the Massachusetts border to go Democrat because the only people that live like here are people who commute into Boston and are otherwise Massachusetts residents but don't like the taxes or whatever. There's 17% of votes left in Raleigh, and Biden leads by 32%. But that 32% of 17%, I don't know if that's enough to beat the lead of Trump and these uncounted ones. At least 2 uncounted counties. This is pretty much a dead heat. I think if it ends up being a tie, there's no more presidents. 269 electorals for each. Other countries do perfectly fine without an executive, right? Like, as long as you have a legislative body, why do you need a president? To be like the figurehead of the country? And I feel like in the United States, the executive has so much power compared to, like, you know, other nations. I really wish we didn't have presidents. The next Senate seat I'm looking for is here. The incumbent is Peters. So, how do you spell Minnesota? Oh, way around. This guy. God, I hate him already. My dude majored in math and science, but he believes in civil rights for all. I think we need more people who major in humanities, to be honest. I majored in math and science. They're not good people. What's your healthcare plan? That's it? I get 2 sentences? God damn it. Like, this is the big red flag to me, is when they say things like affordable healthcare. Like, what does that mean, affordable healthcare? I don't want healthcare to be affordable. I want it to be, like, free at the point of use. Better raise them. What the fuck does that mean? Keeping taxes low. Well, whatever. This guy's supposed to flip a Senate seat. Alright, this was the other projected flip. Was Gary Peters beating out John James. Who's Gary Peters, though? He still uses this, like, stupid buzzword, affordable. What does keeping Michigan safe mean? Oh, he means he supports imperialism. Fuck this guy. Man, it seems like every one of these, like, borderline losing their seat Democrats just absolutely sucks. He's losing, though. So this guy, John James, he's a military academy graduate who served 8 years in the army, did tours in the Iraq War, is a war criminal, was honorably discharged by a colonial state, and now he's running for Senate. Yeah, looks like a war criminal. Yeah, I see these, you know, the shirts with, like, the Line 9, and there's all kinds of, like, military helicopter graphics on campaigns and stuff. I always think of Pinochet's regime. And I think that's, like, the intention that they have. Is, like, if you're a communist, we're throwing you out of the helicopter. Or at least that's the way I take it, is it's like a big helicopter meme. Trump is pretty far behind for, like, what's left to be counted. If these votes come in at, like, the same ratio, right, where, like, Biden's winning by, like, 30% here and, like, you know, 12%, 10%, like, if that stays constant, I don't know if Trump has enough votes out here to, like, pull this off, because these are all, like, relatively that's not tight. What would be better for the stock market? Like a Biden win or a Trump win? They're both, like, equally capitalist. I don't know why that would make a difference. Yeah, I see it from both sides, because people say, like, Biden's the reasonable capitalist. He's not gonna, like, hamper big business or trade in any way, or the exploitation of workers. And I mean, Trump is, like, the same, except just more unpredictable and less controllable, because he's, like, mask off fascist. Looks like question 1 pretty much in the bag. leading by a 50-point margin. And with 50% of the votes counted, that would just mean that the other 50% of the votes would have to be no's. And I don't think that's likely. So I'm gonna say question 1 was a yes. Question 2, the longer this goes on, it just stays like a 5-point difference. For me, like question 2 is the important one. Like ranked choice voting, it's not perfect and it doesn't like necessarily break up the duopoly between the parties or like split up the Democratic supermajority in Massachusetts. But you know, it creates like a path to a multi-party system sometime in the next 100 years. Or at least that's how I saw it. You know, like the same way that Ireland went to ranked choice voting like 1902, and they just finally have like a 3-ish party system now. So it takes a while, but I had a lot of hope in question 2. Yeah, see, like Biden made a big bid to reclaim union voters, but like that's a really hard sell when you supported NAFTA and the TPP and like all these trade agreements that undermine unions. How do you make this like claim that you're pro-union? He has had decades of career where he was extremely anti-union. What kind of nerd do you have to be to go to a Biden outdoor watch party? Yeah, dude, Democrats are fucking boring. Lame as fuck. I wish they were like a really cool, like militant working class party, but dude, they are pencil pushing dorks. If I had to remove one state, it would be like one of the Dakotas. We don't need 2 Dakotas. If I could remove 4 states, I would remove like these 4 and make it its own country. So the new Africans would control this part of the country right here, because this is historically where most of the slaves lived. And to this day, this is known as the Black Belt. It goes right through the middle of these states because that was the most fertile land in the United States. So obviously that's where the biggest plantations were, and that's where the most slaves lived. So if you turn this into a new African country, why not? Whites just can't hold power. Fine with me. If you think that's racist, wait till I tell you about slavery in that area. Oh, this state's gonna suck, dude. It's gonna be like real close, and it's gonna come down to like mail-in ballots. And then it's gonna be ruled like unconstitutional or something. My favorite train fact is if you build a single track of like transit train into a city, that accounts for about 10 lanes of commuter car traffic, like on, you know, volume that you can bring into a city. I have a really strong feeling like the ballots that are postmarked today and trickle in like Friday are going to be contested in the Supreme Court. And I don't think they're going to let that fly, honestly. I don't know much about this guy. He really likes to ask for money. Affordable health care. Public education. He likes rural spaces, I guess. And he likes war criminals. Is this the guy who ran for president? I don't remember. It's like the new Florida. Oh, Christ. If Trump loses, I open the Weller. God damn, I'm so fucking mad about Prop 22. Right, so I've determined Apache County must actually be the Apache peoples. Because there's no other, like, rural tribal people that would support, you know, slightly more left-wing causes than Donald Trump. Unless they were literal indigenous, right? Like, this must be an indigenous county. I gladly endorse consuming the Kennedys. It's because although Biden's from Pennsylvania, like allegedly, there's a lot of like former steel employees who are not happy with his stance on NAFTA and with the TPP. And although Trump's a moron, he's like, we'll bring back steel and whatever. Like, he might be an idiot, but like, he is slightly to the left of Biden when it comes to trade agreements. So like this, like, that's why like Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, I feel like that's even Wisconsin, like that, this whole like area, that's a tough sell for Biden versus like a Bernie Sanders. Whereas like Biden has a fighting chance in Texas, Georgia, and North Carolina, where Bernie wouldn't. So it's like a trade-off the ruling elites who handpicked Biden made sometime like 6 months ago. All right, Donald Trump wins Texas. As expected. Truly. Proposition 21 has been called as a no. This would be local government rent control. So I guess that means there's hope for 22 switching to a no. Why not? Ideal scenario for tonight, right? Biden wins and then we overthrow the U.S.